Now, what is a format that is commonly used in our lives? PDFs. Whether you're reading manuals or important documents, or looking for a free online version of that college textbook that you're trying to avoid paying hundreds of dollars for. Huh? What'd you say? Too soon? My bad. Speaking of hundreds of dollars, PDF editors surely can cost an arm and a leg. Luckily, you would only need to use your brain to choose UPDF, the sponsor for this video. UPDF is Adobe Acrobat's fiercest competitor when it comes to editing and converting PDFs. On top of using many of its annotating features like editing and highlighting text, drawing, and even picking custom stickers from its rich library, it also has many conversion formats like OCR, making scanned PDFs editable and searchable to share with friends and colleagues. And AI, where it can help you write, explain, summarize, and translate with accurate and detailed results. So, if you would like an easy-to-use PDF editor with a clean and intuitive interface that is compatible and syncs with Windows, Android, iOS, and Mac, look no further. And thanks to UPDF for sponsoring this video. Sup, Rotten? Is it just me, or since the M1, Mac releases have become more boring every year? I think the M3 MacBook Air, nay, Apple's Silicon Macs as a whole have a real problem, and it's becoming more and more apparent with every new release. Think back to when the M1 series of Macs was revealed. Think about where we were as a Mac community. We were just coming from the slower, louder, and inconvenient generation of Intel Macs. Dongles for days and keyboard issues were just a way of life. And then the announcement came, with Apple boasting numbers that were so good that we genuinely questioned if they were being serious or there was an asterisk somewhere. Like, are you for real or are you for real for real? What do you mean MagSafe is back? There's no way we're the good ending after what we just gone through. But we were. M1 was a gigantic jump from the Intel Macs, and they continue to be so good that I can still easily recommend one in 2024. But this had me thinking that maybe this gift for us turned out to be more of a curse for Apple. Hear me out. Maybe, just maybe, they made the M1 Macs a little too good. I could see M1 easily carrying us into the latter half of this decade at least, and they're getting cheaper and cheaper by the year. This in turn is great for us since there's less incentive to get a new computer, but bad for Apple. Selling hardware is the most important step in getting people to get absorbed into the ecosystem and software. If people aren't buying any hardware, how are they going to continue to make money off of Macs? Well, that's easy. Continuing to release new iterations of the Apple Silicon chip every year and maybe, just maybe, convince you to buy a new Mac that you don't actually need. For sure, a higher number does mean better, but what a lot of people fail to realize is that the better sometimes isn't that much better. Now let's look at the chips for M1, M2, and M3. According to Apple, the M3 chip is only about 15% faster than the M2, and only about 50% faster than the M1. But if your M1 or M2 Mac is already fulfilling all of your needs and then some, why would any of these numbers matter to you? And I think Apple knows that, so how could they go about convincing you to get a new one anyway? Half-ass features. Enter the M3 MacBook Air. The only difference between this one and the last one is that it has a new chip and it can now support 2 external monitors, as long as the Mac itself is closed. Now answer me this. Is this worth it? Was this worth a release? Yeah, but a MacBook Pro can support 2 monitors. Just get that one. Ultimately, here's what I think they should do. Stop releasing Apple Silicon Macs every year. That way, when they do decide to release one, not only would it give them more time to make every update truly substantial, but it would ultimately turn more heads due to the gap between releases. People don't update their Macs nearly as much as their phones, so why are they putting them in the same boat? The best thing about this M3 MacBook Air shouldn't be that the M2 MacBook Air is now cheaper. The Macs are great right now. We can wait a little longer for the next one, especially if it means having a product worth releasing. That way, new Macs won't be a product of lost potential. Something to think about. Well, that's just my Ryan opinion. What's yours? Leave it in the comments below. And shout out to my Ryan Pro patrons Vasco and Franz Quebec for supporting me on Patreon. All relevant links will be in the description below. Thanks for watching. And if you want to see more of me, you know what to do. I think the MacBook Air is sort of having a little bit of an identity crisis. It's not even that much thinner. My pitch is that they should bring back the original MacBook and call that the MacBook Air. Maybe that should be its own video. Decisions, decisions.